Hey you guys, how's it going? Hope you're all hanging in there. I'm still alive. I finished all those little journals and I went to the bookstore today and oh my god. Oh, I got some amazing books today. Anyway, okay, so I'm not gonna blabber too much. This is the second time I've started this video. Sorry about the Band-Aid. For some reason, these are the only Band-Aids we have. I got a paper cut. I believe it or not, I got a paper cut today. Anyway, so sorry about the pattern on it. Try not to look at it. Yet one more thing to be distracting besides my about my hands, right? Anywho, so I've decided that we are going to just work on the one journal for the remainder of this series. Okay, I'm not going to work on both the alternate version and this version. I'm just going to try to get it done and just do this one. Okay, so if you're doing the alternate version with your own, you know, the pockets that you've made, the seed envelopes and stuff that you've made out of envelopes, then just try to follow along, because I think you got it for real. So I got all of the bundles shipped. I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up some more of the small envelopes. I was out of them, so that's why I hadn't done those yet. So I got those today. I got them all shipped. They're going out tomorrow, and I packed up as many as I could do of the stuff I had left. Okay, so I have 5 more of these packs. If anybody wants one, they are $10 and $2 for shipping, so $12 altogether. To be real honest with you, it's to most places in the country from where I live, it's about $3 for shipping. And just remember that Hobby Lobby, or not Hobby Lobby, PayPal also takes a fee, and so I'm really not making that much money on these. I'm just saying, I'm just kind of doing it because I want you guys to be able to use the same stuff. So anyway, yeah, so $12 and I'll send you one of these. So if you want one, send me an email. My email is usually in the description on any of my videos. So send me an email if you want one, and the first 5 gets one. Just request just one, please, you guys. That's, you know, I think that's just fair, right? So that's that. And then, so what I thought we would do is I'll just kind of really quickly tell you what I've done while you weren't looking. I did some stitching. So I stitched straight down both of the sides of the envelope here. Now remember, you still have this little space right there that's about, you know, 1/8 of an inch. Okay, because we need that space right there between where this folds and that and the side of the envelope. That's where we're going to put our eyelets. And a lot of people have asked me about this ruler. I don't know if this place is still in business or not, but I think it's relatively old. It has like the 7-digit phone number, so I don't know if it's like that old, but I thought it was kind of cool too. So I got it because I was going to cut it up and make it into like charms, but I kind of fell in love with it. It's kind of warped, but that's all right. Anyway, so thanks for your comments about my ruler, you guys. Anyway, so I did those stitches. I stitched across the top of this pocket before I did that though. So if you want stitching on this, do it before you do that. And then I just flipped it over and I stitched all the way around the outside of the whole entire cover, just trying to stay as close to the edge as I could. Okay, with just a straight stitch. You could do it with a little, like a real like narrow zigzag too if you wanted. And then I stitched around all of these little pockets. So I just did 3 sides. Okay, so down like that. Okay, so I did both of the little seed envelopes. I did the coin envelope, and I did the large seed envelope, and then I did the library cards, okay, or the library pockets. So let me just show you really quickly what I did whilst I was stitching the library pockets. Whoops. So I top stitched on the, well, not top stitched. I stitched on the front of the flap instead of the underside of the flap. I wanted the top of the stitch to be on the top. So I did these 3 sides. So when I got to the string, when I turned the corner around here, I actually stopped and then jumped over the eyelet and the string and then continued. And yeah, because I like to do things the hard way. So you know, and I know there's a better way to do that, but that's just the way I did it. And then this looks a little crooked, but it's okay. And then I continued on this side on the front from that fold down those 3 sides, okay, and did a row of stitching. So I did that on both of the library pockets, okay. And then on this envelope, which is going to become a page or a flap or whatever, I stitched just around, oh, I don't know if I added this paper on video last time, but I added some decorative paper just on the top of this flap, just because I like to have something to sort of break up the craft paper on the inside. So, plus it makes it a little bit sturdier. So, and then I just did a little stitch around that flap too. This is going to get glued down eventually on those sides. So I like to have the stitching there before that happens. So, okay, so we'll put these aside for just a second. Oh, wait. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to attach these 2 little seed envelopes, okay? I want to try to get this whole series done in a couple more videos, but we'll just, you know, we'll just plod along. Okay, so these little seed envelopes that we have just added some decorative paper on the front, those go right here on the inside flap at the very, very end. And I'm just going to glue those in. Let me put my glasses on so I get the glue in the right spot. So I'm just going to add some, this is art glitter glue in this little bottle. And I'm going to add glue right along that edge, right on top of that thread. And art glitter glue actually glues fabric pretty well too. So then I'm just laying that right there kind of on top of that stitching. And that is going to be where it lives forever. I love that it just grabs really quick. Okay, so then this one is going to go right here on this side. And I guess I'm being pretty generous with the amount of glue that I'm using. Like, I just want to make sure that it gets through all that thread and everything, and, you know, grabs the paper and stuff. So yeah, so that one just goes right there. Okay. And I want to, oh my God, I do this all the time, but I wanted to do the stitching ahead of time because I wanted to make sure I had it on that side, and like, good luck getting that in your sewing machine, right? So that's one of the reasons that I do all the stitching ahead of time usually. Okay, so those are done, and that's where they're going to live forever. And then I want to pull out this little pocket, or this little page, whatever it is, this flap. And I'm going to cut the end off of this, and I'm going to cut it about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, because that's how this is going to open right there. And then I'm just going to notch it on the inside. And I'm going to cut the little corners off. Man, these scissors are super sharp. Look, I accidentally cut that right there. It's okay. And then I'm actually going to ink that too. I just like to, where it's going to be craft paper on top of craft paper, I like to add a little bit of ink just to give it a little bit of contrast, to sort of like tell you like, hey, that's a pocket, you know. Okay, whoops, that was pretty messy, but so yeah, so this pocket is going to get stitched in right here. Okay. Eventually. But for now, I want to add my little library pocket on here, the short one. Okay, so this one I glued on all 3 sides and left it open on the top so it could be like an extra little pocket. And the reason I wanted to do this on all 3 sides is because because this pocket, this page is going to move, and I didn't want anything falling out. If I say only did 2 sides and then left it open right on the side, I didn't want anything falling out as that was getting turned and stuff. I think that's one of the important things with doing this kind of construction is just thinking about the mechanics of it and which direction things are opening. Like, okay, so if I put it in that way, when someone opens this, is everything going to fall out of that pocket? Like, you really want to consider that, you know? So like if you want to take this sort of little design and like modify it or whatever, just keep that in mind. And I think it is good. So yeah, so that's open at the top. Glue down, stay down. I'm bragging about this glue and then it's letting me down. Okay. All right, so I've got to let that dry. I'm just going to leave this, set it aside, and let it dry. Normally, I would be doing that to like 20 of them. So, okay. And then this library pocket is going to live right here on the other side of that. It's going to get attached right there, but it's going to be hinged. And then this one, this is a seed envelope. This one's going to go right here. And this one, the little coin envelope, is going to hinge on the front of that. Okay. So yeah, and they're going to get magnets too. All right. So first thing I want to do is I want to hinge this and attach it to the cover. So this is the large library pocket. So if you want to do any inking or any kind of embellishing or anything like that on the front of this, this would be a good time to do it. So basically I open it up and then I'm going to use a piece of fabric as my hinge. So I don't want it to be super wide, but and it doesn't even necessarily have to be the whole length of the envelope. Like it can be a little shorter. Okay. Doesn't have to, oh, actually, you know what? On the front, I did make it just half because I didn't want it to impede this pocket, right? I didn't want this hinge to go over the pocket. So I just did it on the front, on the lower half. And then on the inside, I did it all the way up. Okay. So basically, you know, just use your favorite glue, whatever glue you are happy with using on fabric and paper. And for me, that's the Scotch glue stick. I would say yes, definitely art glitter glue works really well. And yeah, I'm going right over my stitching. So it's like, what was the point of doing that stitching? But I don't know. I kind of like covering things up sometimes that I spent time doing. Anyway, so then this is getting set in just a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. And this, I'm telling you, this Scotch permanent glue is awesome for fabric. Okay, so I'm just pressing it pretty well though. And then if this wraps around the front, so be it. Like, I'm just gonna glue it down. So my thinking when I was making all these little guys is that I just wanted them to be kind of grungy, and I really wanted them to be very collagey and stuff too, you know. I wasn't trying to make them like super perfect, honestly. Like, and I bet you guys could guess who inspires me with that, and that's Jibbid. Well, no, well, Jibbid, but Sagita. I just love that, you know, she just does things the way it feels right, way it feels good, you know. And I've been watching her videos lately, and so So yeah, so she inspires me to just kind of loosen up and like let go of composition and, you know, all that stuff. Okay, so then I just have another piece of this fabric, and you want to use something that's relatively thin, I would say, um, for the inside fold, because this is gonna, this has to fold in back on top of itself, right? So you don't want to use like big, heavy, bulky fabric. You could use other things too, like you could even use washi tape, or you know, I use this gauze. This is just bandage, gauze bandage on a roll. Okay, but this is vintage stuff. This is old. The newer gauze bandage that they sell is more like cheesecloth, where it's like a bigger weave. I love this because it's a real tight, fine weave. So yeah, and I paid a pretty penny for that stuff. Anyway, but a good alternative is if you purchase extra fine weave cheesecloth on Etsy or on eBay. Oh my God, on Amazon, it's exactly the same. It's seriously, it's almost exactly the same. I just like this because it's in a roll. Anyway, I'm spoiled. Okay, so that's how that goes. And that's our hinge on this one. Okay, so that just needs to dry. And then this one I'm gonna do on the same side, but this one is going to be attached on the other side. So this guy, I am going to use this gauze, and I'm going to measure pretty much the whole length of it. Cut me a strip, and it's going to wrap around the back. Okay, so I want to open this up. If I pull my sleeve, oh, that lighting is just terrible. I know I've had people complain about it, and I don't honestly have any solutions. I've tried to fix it. Maybe I just need new lights. So anyways, I'm using this fabric just right down the side, being careful not to let it go over to impede that pocket, right? Like I still want to make sure that pocket opens. And then I'm going to kind of set it up here right where I need it. So it's already there. And then add my glue on the back, and then fold this over onto the back. Okay. So there's that. And then I can close that. And then I want to do something on the inside. And one thing I like to do is just use tape. I've been using this book tape. It's like book repair tape, and it's super sticky. I mean, it's like once it's stuck down on something, it's there. Like it's not going anywhere. So sometimes I think it's cool to just do the hinges like this. And I don't even feel like I need to use glue under this tape. It just holds so well. So yeah. So there. I mean, you know, it's not like it's a door, an actual door or something that like has to have a bunch of pressure put on it and stuff all the time. It just needs to hold like paper, right? So anyway, so that's pretty sturdy. And then this one is going to get hinged right there. Okay. So this one's going to open like that. So I'm actually going to turn this over so I can work on it this way. And then let's use, so you can use a little bit heavier cloth when you're doing the outside hinge, because it's not folding back on itself, right? It's going to wrap around the outside of this. It's going to wrap around the outside, and so it doesn't really matter if it's kind of bulky, a little bit bulky. So I'm going to just use a couple of like strips, actually, just little pieces. And I'm going to use the art glitter glue on this. Sort of generous amount. I don't know, like, I just think it's fun just playing with glue, you know. And it's kind of like when you're a kid and, you know, you're crafting and stuff, and I don't know, like, I used to just love cutting paper and gluing stuff, you know. So it's kind of like that, where, you know, you don't need it to look perfect. Like you don't, these pieces of fabric that I'm using, they don't have to look perfect. I think they look better the less perfect they are, you know. Oh, I should have made that lower. See, gotta watch what you're doing, Jessica. Yeah, because I don't want that to, gotta be careful of that pocket on the other side. That's what I was gonna say. So anyways, yeah, you don't have to, it doesn't have to look perfect like you want it to be. I mean, if you're going for that kind of look, you know, then just pretend like you're a kid and you're cutting it. And, you know, you don't cut stuff perfect because you don't care if it's cut perfect. Unless you were that kind of kid and you did care, but I didn't, you know, I really didn't. I didn't care if it was cut perfect. I just wanted it done. That was my whole thing. Okay, so that's like that. And then carefully, I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to use a piece of this cotton, just this cotton muslin along the whole inside there. And I'm going to go back to this glue. So I just use a combination of glue, of the two different glues. Like I used the art glitter glue on those little pieces because it was just like a little chunk that I was applying, and it was just easier to apply this to that little tiny, to this little tiny area than that. Okay. I think on the original version of this, I think I actually did hinge it on this side instead of this side, and then I put this on that side, but it doesn't matter because it's going to get it's going to get magnetized anyway, which will hold it down. So, okay. So that's how those go. And then where's my envelope? Oh, here it is. Okay, so then this one is just, what is that glue? This is going to get stitched on the sewing machine. So it's a little bit tight stitching this in on the sewing machine. I had to kind of hold this up like this when I ran it through the machine. And I did put my paper clips on here before I stitched it, just to be sure that it didn't move around. If you don't want to stitch it on your sewing machine, you could totally just do it like a pamphlet stitch on there with a needle and thread, you know, like it doesn't have to be stitched on the sewing machine. Okay, so just, you know, either stitch it on, or, you know, do like a 2-hole or 3-hole pamphlet stitch, like you would be binding a journal, and then, you know, leave the flap open while you're doing that. And then when you're done, you just want to fold that up and then add a little bit of glue on each side, and you know, stick that down. So then this becomes a pocket that kind of flips. Okay. So yeah, so that's how everything gets attached. Let's do the magnets really quick, and then yeah, and then when I come back, I'll start a new video, and then when I come back, I will talk about, you know, doing some collage and stuff on this. We'll do a little bit of that stuff together, and Yeah, and then we got to make the little journal too that goes in here. Oh, and maybe we'll do the eyelets too. Okay, so there we are, and I love you guys, and I'll see you now. Oh wait, no, I can't go yet. I was gonna do the magnets, but I do love you. Sorry, I'm getting sleepy. Okay, so I've got a couple different size magnets in here. I've got the larger ones; they're all stuck together. I have these little teeny tiny ones. I use them now and then for little teeny tiny things, but so I've got the man, I am just spaced out today. So I've got these little ones that are 5 by 1 millimeter. So I'm going to use some of those. And then I have some larger ones that are actually 10 by 1 millimeter. And so I'm going to use some of those too. So they're just like wider. Come on. Magnets are just funny to me sometimes. They make me laugh. Okay. So see, these ones are a little bit bigger. And then those. So depending on, you know, what you need to, you know, hold, you know, use bigger or smaller ones. So I think I have a link in the description to these magnets too. So if you need some, I think it's a good price, and you know, it's Prime, Amazon Prime. So anyway, all right. So this one is going to get magnetized right there. So I'm just gonna get my my paper tape. That was funny. I was like, okay, bye guys. Right after I told you I was going to do something. Anyway. So the lighting gets weird when you see my black sweater in there. It like goes all white and weird. Okay, so here's my trick. I don't know if it's not really a trick. It's just my method of doing magnets easier. So I take one off the stack and I lay it down on my desk with that side up. Okay, and then I take another one off the stack and I turn it upside down and lay it on my desk far enough away from the other one that they don't go together. Okay, so technically they should be opposite now. So then I just pick up that one with the tape, and it's better to adhere your magnet, your first magnet, onto the piece that actually moves. It's better to do that. Okay, so that one's stuck on there with the paper tape, and this is just paper, like medical tape. And then take another piece of that paper tape and pick up that other magnet, and since it's opposite of this one, it should stick to that magnet. So the sticky side of the tape is up and the magnet is holding that on there. So then just close it up, push that down so that the tape grabs, and then it'll be in the perfect spot every time. Okay, so that's our magnet. And then I'm going to do a small magnet on this one, on the smaller pocket. A lot of magnets in this. So same thing. Hold on. Same thing. Lay that one down. And on this one, the opposite way. Have to set these little stacks of magnets like far away from other things. Okay. And take a little strip of that tape. Stick it on here. And I like to use this paper tape because it's super thin. And I don't think, you know, that way I can even put other paper over this and it's still like, the magnet still works. Okay, so then that one sticks down. So yes, you wind up with a magnet right in the middle of this pocket, but you know, I don't care. Like right around it. You know what I mean? Okay. So then I'll do another big one on this pocket. I just love using magnets. I just think it's fun. I love the way it sounds when they close. So pick up that one, and this is the part that closes. So I'm going to stick it on there. And then pick this one up. And stick it down. Okay. So yeah. Everything is magnetized now. So I'm going to add some tabs to the edges of some of these pieces, just to, you know, I don't think I did add that on that side. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I don't remember what side I hinged this pocket on on those other journals, but I like it like this, so whatever. So yeah, so there we go. And then this is going to get stitched in. So on the next video, we'll do the eyelets and we'll add the elastic, and then we'll just do like some collaging and stuff, and then the closure, and yeah, we'll get her done. Okay, guys, I'm going to go to bed. I love you, and I will see you sooner than later. Okay, bye for now.